What's up, YouTube? What's going on, CCI family? It's your main man back with the game plan. Yep, once again, because you already know I can't leave you out there too long without that information or that education. Plain and simple. Now, look, if you remember, I just told you on Wednesday, I wasn't giving that market drop any attention. Remember, I told you just brush it off because these things are expected, okay? Especially in this game that we play, okay? I said it then and I'm gonna say it again. What goes up must come down. We just want way more updates than we do down. I also told you that these are the kind of days that bring the green that you're looking for. Okay, you just have to be smart. You have to be resilient. You have to be steadfast. You know, keep building up your reserves so you can react when the conditions are right. No catching these falling knives, and just calculated entries, exits, and smart DCA. You always hear me speak on DCA. Okay, now some people, you know, they'll buy into a stock, and the second the market flips, you know, they want to sell everything and lock in losses and then scream that the market's a scam and blah, 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 right? No. Look, have you ever bought a new car? And the moment you roll off of that lot, that car loses values. And all of us know this. However, I haven't seen anyone get to the corner, make a U-turn, and bring it back to trade it in the same day. No, what you do is you take that car home, you take care of it, you nurture it, clean it, maintain it, you know, give it time to hold that value. And for a lot of them, they gain even more value over time. You see this all the time. So that's exactly how I look at my portfolio. I know it'll be worth more. And you, by watching, reading, learning here or anywhere for that matter, improving your own financial literacy, hopefully yours will be too. I have no doubt in my mind about that. And you see, for all those who did sell and run and scream, look what the market did Friday. Flipped right back over. Green pastures everywhere. No, not saying that it will stay or is here to stay, but this is how it fluctuates. So if you had have stayed steady, you'd still right now be all right. The S&P is back up. All the stocks are rising again. They're playing the game. You just have to learn to play the game with them. Kind of like playing cards, okay? If you can't play poker and you jump into a game, you're just gonna assume that everyone's cheating you. The game isn't for you. They're just taking my money. But if you learn the game, learn how to hold your face, learn how to hold your cards, learn what cards do what, then your odds are way better in walking away with everyone else's money.
Vince, I couldn't have said that any better. And speaking of staying steady through the noise, let's shift into a company that demands exactly that mindset. Palantir. PLTR is one of those names where if you don't understand the long game, the volatility will shake you out fast. But if you do understand what you own, then last week's dip didn't scare you. It probably made you lean in a little, closer, because with Palantir, the story is bigger than the candles. This company moves in waves, build, pull back, consolidate, break out, and those waves are tied to real contracts, real growth, and real adoption. And the fundamentals behind those cycles are getting louder. Government demand, commercial expansion, and a product suite that's becoming harder for competitors to ignore.
So with all that in mind, today we're going to break down exactly just what happened last week with that dip and why it was not a red flag and just what long-term investors should be looking at for the future of PLTR. All right, so let's start roughly just before earnings drop, right? So going into earnings, Wall Street was expecting about 1.34 billion in revenue and 0.23 cent in adjusted earnings per share. Okay, Palantir came in and beat both of those, delivering roughly 1.41 billion in revenue and 25 cents in adjusted EPS. Okay, that's not a small beat. Remember that. That's a company that's outpacing expectations on both top and bottom line. Okay, and it wasn't just one segment carrying all the weight. U.S. government revenue came in at 570 million, and U.S. commercial was about 507 million, both ahead of what analysts were looking for. Okay, and that's with U.S. commercial growth tripling digits year over year. So what that tells me is demand isn't just coming from one flashy contract. It's broad, it's sticky, right? It's growing. On top of that, Palantir booked 4.3 billion in new deals for the quarter. Massive multi-year contracts that don't show up all at once in revenue, but they do show you, what's coming down the pipeline. Okay, so when you see the stock whip around on a day of earnings, you've got to remember the candles are reacting to emotion, but the bookings are telling you a whole different story. It's telling you the whole story, right? So after all that was said and done, how did the market react, right? They jumped up. The stock jumped up, of course, about 7% the next day. Okay. The market is saying, okay, this isn't just hype. Okay. There's real growth, real probability, and real demand behind this move. So when I look at a name like Palantir after a week like we just had, I'm not asking, why did it dip on the candles? You know what I mean? I'm asking, did the business get weaker? Are they going out of business? You know what I mean? Or did it just get cheaper? And based on the earnings that you see, revenue beat, EPS beat, government strength, commercial exploding, and more huge bookings on the way, I know which side of that answer I'm on. How about you?
So when you look at those numbers, revenue beat, EPS beat, commercial growth over 100% year over year, that shows you exactly where this company is heading. And they've done this time and time again, consistently. Palantir isn't out here selling hype. They're stacking real contracts, expanding their commercial footprint, and proving they can execute quarter after quarter. And that $4.3 billion in bookings, that's not just a headline, that's future revenue already lined up. Now sure, the stock still moves like it's got something to prove, but that's what early conviction plays do. Volatility doesn't equal weakness. It just means the market is still catching up to the fundamentals. And when you zoom out, those fundamentals are getting harder to ignore. So if you're watching PLTR, don't just track the candles, track the contracts, track the growth. That's where the real story is.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, that's where we're going to leave it for today. Last week's drops, Palantir's earnings, the volatility, it all comes back to the same message, which is understand what you own. Okay? Stay disciplined. Don't let one red day shake you out of your long-term plan. Okay? We're not here to panic. We're here to learn, to earn, to grow, and to make smarter moves every single week. You feel me? So keep studying, keep building your reserves up, of course, and keep sharpening that financial literacy, because that's what's going to turn your chump change into a life change. Feel me? So I appreciate all y'all for tuning in. If you got some value from this video today, make sure to like, comment, subscribe, share it with someone who needs to hear it. You feel me? And as always, have a blessed and financially successful week ahead. And I'll see you on the next one. Peace.